Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome to another terrible theory. Um, this one, you might notice that I'm a lot closer to the camera this time around, and that's simply because my chair, my chair is broken. I've already paid for a new chair to arrive. Um, a better chair. When I initially bought this one, I did not expect it to be as short in the back as it is. So it's difficult for me to like relax in this chair as it is. So I was planning on getting a new one anyway. So it breaking on me just kind of that was like a sign where I was like, okay, time to get a new one right now. But for this video, I'm just going to briefly talk about the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity second DLC, Guardian of Remembrance. And more specifically, the character that is going to be added. We already know that Robbie and Pura are going to be playable in this new DLC. However, we also know that there's going to be one other DLC character, and I have a few ideas as to who it might be. So, to get some of the less likely options out of the way, one option it could be is young Sidon, because we see a scene where he looks like he's going in to fight. It looks like he's going in to fight. So I've talked to some people who think that young Sidon could be the final playable character. I personally don't think that that's going to be the case because we already have his grown-up form as a playable character, so it wouldn't make sense to have two versions of the same character be playable. And young Sidon, baby Sidon being playable, honestly, that doesn't sit right for a few reasons. I mean, obviously his moveset is going to be extremely limited. He's just a toddler, and that's a toddler going out to fight in a war. So that automatically kind of like, no thanks. That doesn't sound right. Other characters that it could be any of the characters that I initially predicted would come to Age of Calamity that have not. Paya, Cass, Kilton, any of them. It could also be a playable Astor, a playable Suga. I predicted that both of them would become playable. Playable Harbinger Ganon, the Dark Terrico. I predicted that any of them could become playable, and they still can. It could be any one of those characters. However, at this point, I personally think it's unlikely, simply because if it was a character we already knew about, they wouldn't be keeping it a secret. That is my thought process. If it's a character we already knew about, they wouldn't have a reason to keep it a secret like this. The fact that they are being so tight-lipped about this leaves me suspicious. So I highly doubt it's going to be a character we've already seen in Age of Calamity or Breath of the Wild. If it's going to be another character, it's going to be not from either of those games. Is what I personally believe, simply based on how they've been so tight-lipped about the final character. So that said, who else is left? Well, one option is Linkle. Now, hear me out on this. In Hyrule Warriors, Linkle was an original character created for the game. And in a previous video, I explained why the first Hyrule Warriors is canon to the Zelda timeline, and how it connects to Age of Calamity, as Age of Calamity does confirm that the events of Hyrule Warriors did happen long ago. It does confirm that. And Age of Calamity is a canon Zelda title. So the fact that a canon title confirms Hyrule Warriors happened just confirms that the first Hyrule Warriors is canon. So who's to say that a Hyrule Warriors original character couldn't make an appearance, such as Linkle, or possibly even Lana or Sia? Any of those three could possibly make an entrance as the final DLC character. I personally believe that of the three, Linkle is the most likely to come over, simply because Lana and Sia have their job as overseer of time. They watch over the timelines. They don't typically tend to interfere with the timelines. The only reason that Sia interfered in the first place in the original Hyrule Warriors was simply because Ganondorf was controlling her, took advantage of her weakness and her doubt in order to essentially brainwash her into becoming evil. So, but now that that's all settled, both Sia and Lana are back to just simply being observers. So I highly doubt either of them would become a DLC playable character for Age of Calamity. I believe that Linkle has the best shot, and she was very well received in Hyrule Warriors, so it would make sense if the people who were responsible for making that game, who also made this game, it would make sense if they wanted to bring Linkle, their character, into this new game. However, there is one detail about the trailer, one detail that has me thinking that it might be something else. In the trailer, we see, well, technically, it's two details. One is Rivali says to whoever the character is, "You're pretty good for a kid." Now he could. Now this doesn't necessarily tell us that he's talking to an actual child. This simply tells us that he's talking down to someone, which is nothing new for Rivali. He talks down to everybody. And he's most likely talking to someone who, at the very least, looks young, or looks about the same age as Zelda and Link, most likely. And Daruk, in the same trailer, also says about that friend of yours. It seems I owe them as well. Notice how Daruk said them. And Rivali said kid. Neither of them mentioned a gender. I took notice of that, how neither of them mentioned that there was a gender for this new character. I found that detail very odd. And then I started to think back to this company's other games, to Hyrule Warriors and to Dynasty Warriors. And I think I figured out exactly what the final DLC character is going to be. I think the final DLC character is going to be a character customization. It's going to be a customizable character. Your character. A character you get to create. You will get several different outfits that you can pick from. You will get to choose whether you're male or whether you're male or female. You will get to hopefully choose what type of weapon you want, whether it be a spear, a sword, a claymore, or some kind of vehicle, like the master cycle, but like a different master cycle, or maybe some other brand new weapon entirely that we've never seen in the game. But I think we are going to get a customizable character. Now, you might be thinking that that's unlikely, considering how, well, the first Hyrule Warriors game didn't have customizable characters. Not quite. While you couldn't technically create your own character to play as, you could create your own fairies. You were able to create your own fairies. You were able to customize them to look however you wanted them to look, and give them very specific buffs to give you in battle. This was introduced in Hyrule Warriors Legends, which was the second version of the game to be released. And on top of that, Dynasty Warriors for several years now has had an option to create a customizable character. Create your own character, your own unit, in order to annihilate the enemy. Several Dynasty Warriors games have that as an option. They allow you to do that. And so I think that Age of Calamity is going to do the same thing. Now, how far will this extend? I'm not entirely sure. My best guess is that you will get to choose the gender, the outfit, and what type of weapon you have. That is my best guess. That those are the things you will be able to choose. Everything else is randomly generated. There is a set female avatar and a set male avatar, and so you can't change their hair color, eye color, skin tone, none of that stuff. That is my best guess. However, preferably, this character customization would allow you to customize all those things along with what race they are. You would get to choose between Zora, Gerudo, Rito, Hylian, Sheikah, Goron. You'd get to choose between those different races. How cool would that be to get to choose between those 6 races and choose which one you're going to be? And obviously, some of these races will have certain stipulations. Like if you choose a Goron, you have to be a male Goron, because that's all there is. If you choose a Gerudo, you have to be a female Gerudo, because that's all there is. But how cool would that be to get to choose your own race? I don't think they're going to go that far. I highly doubt Nintendo is going to allow them to go that far. That is honestly mostly just a pipe dream. I personally think that it's just going to be, you get to choose what your gender is, whether you're male or female. You get to choose your outfit and what weapon type you have. And that's it. I imagine that that's all the customizable options that it's going to have. You'll get to choose your name. I'm sure you'll get to choose a name for yourself, but they will still call you kid or them, he, she. So that kind of stuff. They'll call you by nickname. They'll call you by nicknames, instead of calling you by name, because there's no way that like any of these voice actors would be able to record themselves saying every single name in all of existence. There's no way. There's no way they would be able to do that. That would be way too much work. I would never expect anybody of that much work. So I truly do believe that that is what we can expect from the final DLC, and in terms of the character. Now, in terms of the story, I highly doubt this is going to be the case. I really do. But when I hear the title Guardian of Remembrance and I read the description about how you're sent on missions based on the memories of the time traveling Guardian, that the very first thing that popped into my head when I read that description is, what if this DLC is what should have happened, what actually happened 100 years ago, and how they lost? What if the missions you're going on are, as your character, you're going to each of these locations and doing your best to come out victorious, but at the end of it, you're shown cutscenes of what actually happened, and how Hyrule falls, and it ultimately leads to Zelda storming the castle alone to face Ganon and seal him. And then the Guardian travels back in time at that point. I think that would be really cool. I highly doubt that's what's going to happen, because they already retconned so much with the main story. So now they'd be just retconning the retcon. And I don't know. I personally feel like Nintendo would not allow them to go that depressing. So I don't think that that's going to be the case. That would be very cool if it was, but I don't think Nintendo would allow that, unfortunately. But in any case, we'll find out what happens tomorrow, because the DLC comes up on Friday, so we're just one day away. I'm excited. Yeah, yes, I did see that in the trailers. Astors from the other timelines, or either it's Astors from other timelines, or it's sympathizers with Astor's cause. Either or. Either Calamity Ganon had several people like Astor who all sympathize with Astor's cause, or like you said, it could just be several different Astors from other timelines. In which case, I really got to wonder: is one of them? Did Astor exist in the original timeline? Could there be an Astor from the original time? Could there be an Astor from the original timeline? And if so, are we going to see him there? So either way, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what happens. But what do you guys think? Do you think that we're going to see a character that is currently in the game? It is currently in the game. A character from Breath of the Wild that we haven't seen. A character from the first Hyrule Warriors game. Or do you think that it's going to be an original character? Or maybe you think it's just going to be random some random character that we've never met before and are never going to see again, which means we have no reason to actually feel emotionally connected to them. That's also a possibility. It could just be a new original character that we're never going to see again. So I really hope it's not that one. But I personally think that it is going to be a character creation, that you are going to get to create your own character. I truly do believe that that is the case. There are just it is the one thing that makes so much sense out of all the options. It makes so much more sense than any other option I can think of. But what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comment box below. And that's all I got for this video. So thank you all so much for watching. I will be putting up another Road to Completion video, an updated version, after I have finished the second DLC. And I figured out exactly how many quests, missions, challenges, all that stuff that there is. And I will make an updated video to that. So, yeah. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.